Imagine having to bury your own children. How dreadful would that be? The Middle Ages was a cruel and vicious time that was dominated by the bubonic plague, many wars, and other horrible things. However, it was considered utterly religious by the Catholic churches and was overshadowed by chaos and confusion. Although the Middle Ages was often known as the Age of Faith, a more efficient title would have been the Dark Ages due to all the wars, major diseases, and the collapse of government that occurred at times. This endless struggle for protection and survival within Europe created a huge gap that made it very easy for enemies to infiltrate the continent and cause destruction, stealing of wealth, and the destruction of valuable resources. From the north came the vicious Vikings that kept on invading and thieving non-stop. Then from the south came the Moorish invaders that brought war, havoc, and the teachings of their savior. The whole continent was under constant stress of war from within and from both the north and the south. However, major wars were also developed with every successive battle due to financial and religion, social and technical advancements. Numerous wars were fought during this period, and the most noteworthy was the Battle of Hastings. The Battle of Hastings was one of the most remarkable wars during the Dark Ages. The Battle of Hastings began on October 14, 1066 AD, when King Edward of England died without having inherited his throne. After his death, his close friend Harold Godwinson took over his throne, but this was met in a disagreement from Edward's cousin. William, the Duke of Normandy, in an effort to take over his throne, William sent a 7,000 army to attack the beaches of Pevensey. The army of Harold was mainly consisted of infantry and professional soldiers who rode their way to the battle and walked on foot when they were nearing close to their destination. The Norman army were consisted up of mercenaries and nobles from Normandy and Brittany and France and Italy. At the start of the battle, each side simple tactics were applied. Harold formed a strong shield at the top of the Senlac Ridge at Hastings, while William had to cut through his wall. Originally, William's cavalry faced major blows, but when Harold's army ran down the ridge chasing the Normandy infantry, William saw an ideal opportunity to ambush them from behind with the archers. The English army then trapped in between William's archers and the infantry. The Normans waged a fierce battle and believed Harold was killed at this moment, leaving William to gain the throne as the first Norman king of England. Religion in the Dark Ages were dominated by Christianity. It was an era where the powers were vested in the hands of the Pope were so great that he could even dethrone a king from committing a sin. From the beginning to the end, people were so dominated entirely by the Catholic Church and many religious institutions that gained power and wealth during the difficult times. Throughout the Dark Ages, the only widely accepted religion was the Catholic religion. The Catholic Church was a very powerful society which had its own laws and lands. The Catholic Church also enforced taxes. Other than collecting taxes, the church accepted gifts from all types of people who wanted unique favors or wanting to be in a certain place in heaven. The people of Catholic Church grew up with its wealth. The Catholic Church was able to influence kings and rulers of Europe. Opposing the Catholic Church was result in rejected by society. This meant that a person was shunned or rejected, could not attend any church services, receive any sacraments, and would go straight to hell when they died. In conclusion, the Dark Ages were set apart by difficulties and disasters, including starvation, torment, and war, which altogether decreased the number of inhabitants in Europe. During the period of 1347 and 1350, the Black Death murdered about one-third of Europe. In 3 years, approximately 25 million people were said to have died. This period of conflict and sorrow was so corrupted that it was said to have thrown technology 100 years back to all the wars and death of people.